I think as angel investors, we look at what's happening in the market, and then we want to participate,
Okay.
right? And so if there is a $1 billion company we build, we said, oh, this makes sense. I could have also done this.
Right.
So I think that though it's positive, it's better going forward.
Right. There's a lot of talk around um, India and Bharat, and a lot of now the time for Bharat has come, and one of the key things what we are also a lot of having a focus on is on the agri-tech sector per se. So any thoughts, any things you are seeing, because you've just spent so much of time on the consumer and the consumer internet side. So just any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll tell you as I'll tell you what non-agri uh, investors think about the ecosystem and India per se. See, like I said, you will have to make money for yourself. Nobody else will, right? So you cannot listen to everything that's going around, right? The first thing you should call it noise. That why is somebody helping me, telling me where to invest and where will I make money? Because it normally, if that person was so sure, that person would have put all the money in that category, right? It doesn't happen like that. So
Right.
agri, definitely a large sector. So the TAM, the total addressable market is huge. But nobody has still figured out what is the right model to crack for agri
Hmm.
sector in India, right? Historically, if you look at data, most companies have developed not with the growth of agriculture, with actually degrowth of agriculture.
Hmm.
US, US are like less than 10% people doing agri,
True.
right? Same for China, same for other developed countries as well. So I think as a sector, it's a big sector. But the traditional ways of doing things, which is say maybe just trading, buying and selling offline, right? You might make money, but these are not investable categories, right?
Right.
Mechanization, use of AI in agri, uh, you know, uh, predicting productivity. So these kind of categories, using satellite imaging to do things,
Right. Right.
planning, what crop to do, how much, because prices depend on demand and supply, right?
Right.
All of those kind of things, I think the next set of agri startups are going to get developed in on that side,
Right.
not traditional agri.
Yeah, I mean, like traditional agri is definitely. I mean, that has to. The space is ripe for disruption. I mean,
Yeah.
so let's talk about your time in Pannagar a little bit.
So
Any. I mean, I take the liberty and just inform that you have your better half also in this group sitting today with us. So, Shifalika ma'am is there. So why don't you just tell us a little bit of some of those times with what you spent there and what are some sweet memories from there?
yeah,
Uh,
like I said, it's an amazing place, right? And I'm still in awe of that place, and always surprised that you're at an airport and you hear the word Pantanagar, two people talking, and you realize there are 90, 70 batch people, and inevitably you will go and say hi to them,
True.
right? You will, if you know there's a Pantanagar guy in the room, you will never avoid that person. I think that's
Right.
a bonus of that place, right? It's a relationship that you have. You build relationships with people who are invisible. You don't even know them, right? You
Right.
haven't not
Right.
met them, but you build, right? I think that's the beauty of that place.
Right.
Um, and see, my memories are amazing. Everything that uh, everything illegal, immoral that happened in my life, I learned there. Everything, uh, actually, personally, professionally, both. Right? I met Shipalika. I met some of my friends. I can see on the call as well. Best of friends, we still meet. Uh, so personally, I got married to Shipalika, who was my batchmate. Professionally, I discovered I wasn't aware when I entered Pandaga. There's something called an MBA, and somebody like me can get in there. Um, it's due to interaction with some of my seniors that I realized that, hey, well, there is something, some exam like that. Uh, you know, was able to work hard and get there as well. I think the beauty about that place is it's so secluded from the outside world, right? That you don't have much to do. So
Hmm.
what? There are limited set of people. There are no outsiders, right? So and it's a large selection, so you can find out your kind of people, right? And you actually it also gives you a lot of learning on what kind of people you don't want to hang out with, right? And what kind of people you hang out with, and also the fact that, you know, I also learned failure is not permanent, right? Failure is from Pantnagar, right? Because most of the people who came in, either couldn't get through IT. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad place, or couldn't get through medical, but generally it
Right.
was like that place. Uh, and and then you realize that, hey, I can, and you would if you look back and you realize that you did better than most of your schoolmates, right?
Right.
You still leverage the network. Um, I think, yeah, overall a great place. Always want to go back there.
And great. So sir, I mean, like our motivation for building Pantnagar Capital, or the whole idea inception happened with the very view that, as you rightly said, it's secluded. I call it, for no better choice of words, like a microcosmic place, right? And it's a microcosm in itself,
Yeah,
and full of ideas, full of people. And as you said, that if you come across people who are talking about Pantnagar 1970. In fact, one of the IPA events is coming, which we invariably attend, and in Noida that happens. Um, so the concept of Pantnagar Capital was, just to marry these two things,
yeah,
from the referral, what you were saying, that, from a
yeah,
reliable source, and then plus coming from this, talent is there, and Pantnagar
yeah,
has a lot of talented and very accomplished people, just as you. So what could be, few tips that you can give to the community here, that um, how do we leverage this for building startups? I see you as an entrepreneur also, because I don't know if you have. I was looking through your profile. I could not find, apart from the A to Z babies, that where you actually was an entrepreneur.
yeah.
Other than that, but I see very much an entrepreneur kind of a thing. So, what could be a few things that you would want to, just share for the benefit of the community here?
Yeah. So I think Panna is a very resourceful place, right? Like, and when you say resources, one is knowledge, right? It's about 40, 50-year-old legacy of people with different backgrounds, different places, engineering, tech, home science, fishery, vet, right? I think the combined knowledge of the group is crazy, right? And I can't think of a more concentrated knowledge pool when it comes to agri tech kind of thing, right? Not even in India, just in India, but across the globe as well. Which means that this group can come out with ideas of startups in this category which nobody else has thought of, right? It's just about people coming on a platform and saying, hey, right? I'll give an example later on what I exactly mean.
Hmm.
Like, hey, you ping somebody and say, I want to do this. I want to, you know, build build drones for, say, coffee cultivation, something like that, right? And then four people can get together and brainstorm. Whether idea is rejected or accepted is secondary thing, but the concentration of knowledge in a limited period of time, that was first thing Pandaga provides, right? Two is a very important thing is finding a co-founder and early team members, who know you really well, who know your working style. That so the entire talent pool, you don't need to go outside.
Right.
Everybody's here.
Yeah.
You need somebody to manage the government. There are people there. You need somebody to run on the road. The people that there are marketeers, sales guy, techies, developers, all kinds of people, right? HR, everybody in the group. So I think the second part is this. Third is if there's an idea and you say no, I need 100 crores to prove this idea, right? I'm sure people like 100 people can put in like 1 lakh rupee each, right? And just say go and build it kind of a thing. So even the early capital, the
Yeah.
combined, I'll say the combined risk capital of this pool, right, will be, my guess, right, it'll be upwards of 10 to 20 million dollars, right? Just do some rough math on people who have worked and you save 10% of your salary, every year for the next 30, 40 years, right? That pool is crazy, right? So I think and if all of us invest together, right, we have more control on the
Right.
board of the outcome of the company as well, right? Like that I think is, I'll give an example. There is a very unique fund called South Park Commons.
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, so these are a group of engineers who used to sit next to Mark Zuckerberg when they were building Facebook, right? They had a table. Zuckerberg will sit on one corner, then some 5, 7 of them were sitting next to him, and they obviously made money in Facebook. So what this and they started a fund. So they don't do traditional funding. What they do is, if you have an idea, right, and you are bright enough, you come and sit in their office. They are always available for brainstorming. Right? You say, I want to do this. Okay, let's discuss. If they don't have expertise, because of the connections, they will set you up with other people. So that entrepreneur who was an idea spent 6 to 12 months having brainstorming with every possible guy on that topic. And after 12 months, if the person still wants to do that idea, saying, whatever I learned tells me that it's a brilliant idea, then they all of them put together and put capital in the company.
Wonderful.
Right? Instead of saying that, no, pitch me an idea for an hour, I decide whether to give you money or
Hmm.
not. Right? I think, you know, the idea should not be that we invest in 10 companies. Idea should be that, oh, we are, as Pantanagar, we discussed 1,000 ideas. And then we came up with some 100 ideas. And then you say, okay, who wants to build this idea? Right? It could be
Got it.
other way down as well.
Building the funnel and then, kind of, and then helping from the ecosystem.
Exactly. Right.
Wonderful. We'll open the floor for questions. We can take questions now. So you can unmute and ask the question. Please go ahead. Any questions that you may have.
Sure. Before others start, thanks, Premanshu, for the nice session and very insightful journey and about how
Thank you.
we
Thanks.
should invest in angel startups. So one question, like I think maybe it's your personal choice. Like, what is your like biggest success in terms of angel investing, and what were the key factors you looked on them, and what do you think were the biggest factors which led them to success in any of your investee companies?
Sure. So I have not exited a lot of them, but I can tell you whose value has gone up. See, I was
Mhm,
at and I understand UPI payments really well, plus insurance. I figured
mhm,
out two entrepreneurs in Kenya, right? In Kenya, who were trying to build the next Paytm. Okay, so
okay.
I spent some time with them in doing. It's a company called Fingo, right? Then me and couple of my friends got together, invested in that company, right? Uh, that company just raised $100 million. So if I had put in X amount of money there, it's basically become 20X, right? So that's
Great.
yeah, and I'm in the process of exiting 50% of that position, but that's one of them. One startup that did really well. Then then I had invested in a morning food delivery company, milk and egg delivery at 5 a.m. It was called Daily
Mhm.
Ninja, right? Which eventually got acquired by Big Basket, which then got acquired by Tata, right? So I did get a little bit of money there as well. Yeah.
And how did you got introduced to this Kenya guys? Like,
So what I do is that I read a lot.
mhm,
My Combinator is this Combinator in America, right? Which curates and selects about 600, no, 300, 600 startups in a year. I I make it a point to that if there is an idea I like interesting, I ping that founder on LinkedIn, or I asked a common link to introduce me, right?
okay.
And because I was a payments guy and I was handling a large portfolio at Paytm, like the amount of money that was flowing through my portfolio was about 30 billion kind of a thing. So it was at scale. When I pinged the founder saying, "Hey, I am a payment professional and I can help you," they immediately responded. And then we had a series of discussion. I told them how to build a team, what to do, what not to do, and my learnings from